One Piece Chapter 1079 is officially out, and we're going to do a review on it, so stick around, because a lot of crazy stuff happens in this chapter. With that being said, my name is Richard, this is my wife Claire,
Hello.
and we're One Piece of a Dream. Let's go ahead and hop right into the chapter. The chapter is titled The Emperor Red-Haired Pirates, and it starts with cover art of Luffy watering a lion that he mistakes for a sunflower. And we can actually see the sun, which is very clearly Prometheus, up in the sky smiling and watching as Luffy waters this lion. The lion, on the other hand, does not look very happy. Oh, by the way, we're back to fan submissions. Germa finally gave us back our emotions. The emotionless excursion has officially ended. Fan submissions from now on until another cover story happens, although that cover story will likely tie into the real story now that they are now targeting Vegapunk. Caesar and judging me. Anyway, let's go ahead and hop into the actual chapter. The chapter begins with York, and it's her flashback. York is currently talking about how she has a contingency plan because she figured that the world government was going to betray her, which we figured. She's a Vegapunk. She should have a contingency plan for something like that because it was a dumb plan in the first place.
Yeah.
But we get to see her giving the orders to the Seraphim, and she tells the Seraphim to kill everybody but her, the Stella, and the Cypherpole agents in the cell. Why they get to live, I don't know, I guess hostages, but everybody else needs to die, including CP0, Luffy, all of them. And she's literally eating a piece of meat as she's giving these orders in the flashback. And we get another Odachi-san horny flashback. But she gives the orders, as I said, to kill everybody but her, Stella, and the Cypherpole agents in the cell. And she also gives another order to S. Snake after telling S. Snake that she needs her to turn to stone, turn her back again when nobody's
As
looking.
predicted.
Yeah, because she's not strong enough to handle all of the people that are there, especially the Emperor's crew of Luffy, if, you know, they were to catch her. So that's exactly what happens, but she gives another order to S. Snake that we don't see, and S. Snake is currently flying off, assumedly to fulfill this order. And after this, we move on to see that the Egghead Island evacuation is currently underway. We see the Pacifista, we see Sentomaru, all of the Egghead Island people running off. In the following panel, we see the ocean in a shot of Egghead. Basically, we're looking at the island, but in that picture, we're also seeing a ship, and this ship has a flag visible, and that flag belongs to none other than the Emperor Blackbeard. That's right, Blackbeard himself may possibly be on his way to Egghead Island, if not at least maybe, but if not, it's at least his goons. One or the other, someone from Blackbeard's crew is on their way. Watch it be like Aokiji or something. That would be crazy. We got Aokiji and Kizaru back together whenever Kizaru shows up. This is just going to be a whole mess. This is literally just Blackbeard coming to stir the pot right now to make things more interesting. And Oda's doing a very good job of that. But after this, we get something even more interesting than that. We get the fight between Kid and Shanks. We are back to that battle, and we see that Kid is currently on his way to fight Shanks, and he's running into Shanks' captains. And Shanks' captains don't exactly look threatening. They're threatening to stop Kid, but Kid basically calls them fodder because
They're
one of them...
not really that scary.
No, one of them's an old man, one of them's a little girl, and the other one's a weird-looking turtle thing. But none of them look particularly
He does
threatening.
Look like a turtle.
Yeah, and once we get away from the scene, we move on to land where Shanks is with his crew and his, underlings, basically. And they actually state Shanks' captains are actually known and famous for being weaker than other members of Yonko crews. So, we get that little piece of information here. However, they're protected because Shanks let everybody use his flag, so nobody really messes with them. But directly after this, we get a conversation between Shanks and the main members of his crew. We see Lucky Roo telling Shanks, hey, Captain, we could just handle this. He's not really that big of a deal. It's not a big problem for us to just go out there and do it for you. You don't gotta sully your hands with this. But Shanks is like, hey, don't underestimate the power of youngster growth. He's worth 3 billion berries. He is a threat. Let's deal with him properly. And Yasop, he goes over to him and asks, hey, is Kid and his crew's wounds healed yet from Wano Kuni? And Yasop responds to Shanks holding the telescope and says, yeah, they're pretty good looking. They're actually nice and healed up and itching for a fight. They look healthy to me. And Shanks is like, alright, cool, then I have no moral dilemmas with beating them up. And then
At
Shanks...
least he's considerate.
Yeah, and then Shanks goes on to ask Hongo and say, hey, do you have any new intel on Blackbeard? Because he cares more about Blackbeard apparently than Kid, even though Kid is literally knocking on his front door right now trying to fight him. Hongo's like, no, we don't have any new information, but we do know that Blackbeard left Hachinosu. That's about it. However, here's all the intel we do have on Kid, so take care of the situation at hand, please, Captain. And Shanks takes the information, looks through, is like, well, okay, he's from South Blue, he's a bit of a troublemaker. We see a panel of Kid asking how many ships are there, and essentially he plans to take them all out at once. So he starts assembling this giant railgun. And we see in the next panels that he fires this damned punk attack, and then all of the captain's ships are destroyed and all the people on the ships are obliterated by Kid's attack. However, this didn't actually happen. What really happened is this was Shanks' future sight. Shanks actually saw this future, and then Ben Beckman says to him, "Hey Captain, did you see a future you didn't like?" And Shanks is like, "Yeah," basically.
Yeah, he looks a bit perturbed.
Yeah, he's all serious now, and he gets up, grabs his sword, just jumps ahead of everybody and tells everybody, "Get out of the way, move to the left and right." Shanks takes out his sword and does a massive divine departure, Kamusari, and this divine departure directly hits Kid, and Killer tries to block it, but is unsuccessful. And both of them are now incapacitated. Kid is completely unconscious. He's no longer with us, and Killer is now unable to move and coughing up blood. His crew, now seeing that the captain and Killer are both taken out, are basically cowering in fear of Shanks, and they're like, "Please don't kill us, let us go, we're sorry," and
they didn't say, "Please don't kill us," they said, "Please don't kill our boss."
Yeah, basically said, "Please don't kill our boss," and they handed over all the rogue poneglyph rubbings that they had, and then Shanks hops off the ship without saying anything. After this, though, we see a panel with Dorry and Broggy, and the fight's already over. Shanks has already won this fight, but Dorry and Broggy decide to do something totally uncalled for, and what they do is basically tell Kid and his crew, "Hey, don't put your gun at other people's homelands unless you're ready to meet the same fate." And they fire off this attack, the same attack that we saw, unneeded attack, that we saw them use to kill the giant goldfish back at Little Garden, and the Vegapunk is completely and utterly destroyed. So that's the end of Kid's crew, it seems, because they all end up drowning in the ocean, and the narrator goes on to say that Kid's crew was completely destroyed. So this is probably the end of them, at least according to the narrator. If we presume, probably not. Who's going to rescue them? Then again, Shanks might rescue them, because Shanks doesn't look very happy with this development afterwards. He doesn't say anything, but he kind of gives off this look in the last panel of like, it could go either way. It could go either Shanks thinks this is unnecessary, I already won the fight, you guys can stop, or he thinks, well, they were asking for it. Either way,
it's not a face of happiness.
No, he doesn't look happy. I don't think he's very happy with the extraness that Dorry and Broggy decided to do here, but I could be wrong. I'm not either. I mean, he may jump into the water after Kid if Oda doesn't really plan on just throwing Kid away. But what about the rest of them? Yeah, because we had a lot of development with Kid. Obviously, he would have to go after all of them, but we had a lot of development with Kid. What was the point with all that development if we were just going to have Shanks kill him? Was this just so that, was all of this just to show how strong Shanks is without having to kill a character people cared for? Or was this really just intended to be, the end of the road for Kid? Or maybe this was actually just a turning point where Shanks will save Kid and take him prisoner, and maybe Kid will end up working with Shanks. I mean, they're both redheads after all. Maybe that'll happen. Honestly, though, it seems like Kid's probably screwed, and this is probably the end of Punk Victoria and the crew.
Was it meant to be this way the whole time, where we build up Kid's character and then just kill him off?
It seems like that might be the case. So, for all of you Kid fans out there, I'm sorry, there's a good chance, probably 99.95% chance that Kid is officially out of the series. Oda killed him off. He's done. So is the rest of his crew. It's sad. I like Killer. Yeah, Killer was cool. We both said that at the same time. It's weird. But still, Killer was cool. However, it might just be the end here. Oda can do whatever he wants. It's his story.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we need to be happy about his decisions.
No. And it isn't like I, hated Kid or liked Kid.
No.
He was just mid. He was Eustace Captain mid. And to me, it was kind of just like, okay, when I first heard this, I thought, okay, Kid dying, yeah, whatever. But then I thought about it. I was like, well, we had all this development with Kid. What was the purpose of all that if we're just going to get rid of him? And it just kind of made me think, like, kind of grew on me a little bit in the sense that we did follow him quite a bit, and Oda's just going to throw him away. Will he do this with any character that he just no longer has a purpose for?
Is this what's going to happen with Law?
Yeah. Is Law screwed?
More loved than Kid was. I can't imagine a lot of people are going to be too pleased if that happens.
Yeah, Law is a lot of people's favorite character from the entire series, so it's going to be very upsetting if Law dies. I mean, I'll be more upset if Law dies than Kid, but still, it's very strange that Oda's just willing to get rid of these people. They're members of the worst generation.
Quick, too.
It was. I mean, Eustace Kid.
That was so fast.
Yeah, it was a one-shot, KO basically. Shanks literally took them out in one hit. Dorry and Broggy finished them in another hit. 2 hits and they're done. No more Kid. And Kid was arguably close to a Yonko level. I mean, he did fight Big Mom with Law. Granted, it was a 2-on-1, but he was tanking Yonko level attacks. He did have that type of strength. He wasn't exactly weak. So how much development does Luffy need to catch up to Shanks? A lot of questions we're going to have here. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, because this chapter has been absolutely crazy. I don't know how to feel about this. Yeah, I kind of feel like Kid should probably come back and maybe end up working with Shanks, but maybe not. I think Kid's probably screwed, and I think Law may be meeting the same fate. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, especially about Law. I want to know if you guys think that Law is screwed or not. With that being said, that's all I got for you guys today. That's the end of the chapter. There's a break next week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a relatively short chapter, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and just wait for the next one and see what happens. Peace.
Bye.